Hey folks, Inclusive Designs here, and this is part 3 of the 135 scale Leopard C2 tank diorama build. So as you can see, we are pretty much complete. There are a few pieces left to go on, so I'm going to save that for the finale of this build. And for now, I'm just going to show you what we've done. So we have the fallow field on there for good, and how we did that is I used the good old spray Elmer's glue, which stuff works really well. And on the reverse side of this grass, I sprayed a fair amount, or a good generous amount anyway, of that stuff, and sprayed it on, and then I stuck this grass on top, and then I put my tank down, and then I started putting the grass that where we had it opened up for the tracks, over top the tracks. As you can see, the grass is kind of going over top just a little bit there. I'll flip it around, and as you can see, it's kind of going over top the tracks a bit. I'm going to see if we can get the lighting. There we go. As you can see, it's just going over top just a little bit right there, but this is down for good. Again, I used a generous amount just to make sure this over time isn't going to lift. So as you can see, the grass is down. So that tank ain't going nowhere. And it turned out really well. As you can see, we got the tracks that we had made long ago. It's not shiny anymore. So in the past video, we showed you how we did that with pigments and such. So it turned out really well. And as you can see, we've added a few more things to the tank. Now, you don't have to wait, to do the dioramas to start adding those kind of things to your tank. But I wasn't quite sure where we're going to go with this build, right? Because I wasn't too sure if we're going to do like a diorama, portraying it in Wainwright in training, right? That's how I was going to do it in the training format. Then I kind of shifted towards, maybe we'll do an operation in Afghanistan, that kind of thing. And then it kind of shifted towards, this and that, right? So just because of, how I did their camo. And the reason why I kind of shifted back and forth was just because of the coloring, right? Originally I was going to do all CAD-PAT. And then I thought, well, there's just so much green. And when you're building models, you don't want to have everything in one color, because everything's just going to blend. And then it's just going to look like a mishmash of one color, and then you're going to lose, the eye appeal, that kind of thing, right? And that's one thing you got to consider when you're making models, especially to the person viewing it, especially when you're dealing with camo, right? I mean, the whole point in real life when you're camoing is not to be seen. So I guess when you're making models, and the point is when making models is you want to be able to see it and not see it, if that makes any kind of sense at all. So this is what I'm kind of going for at this point. I'm kind of going for, I want to portray Canadian soldiers in Afghanistan and want to be able to be seen and not seen at the same time, if that kind of makes any kind of sense. Now, whether this is true to any specific operation, I can't say that for a fact at all. Not this is just what it is. Now, from being ex-military myself, I can attest to having mismatched equipment all the time. I never matched. I mean, I had, again, when I joined, I had a CAD-PAT helmet and greens and used stuff all the time. So take that for what it is. Any ex-military out there, I'm sure they can say, yep, he's right. So, whatever. Now, as far as, I wasn't a tanker. So if any, ex-tanker, is out there and says, yeah, I remember serving in, a Leopard C2 tank, and, I wore CAD-PAT helmet and CAD-PAT armor with arid combats, fine, great. Now, the reason why I did this is just because I wanted to be able to show the tankers. Otherwise, again, it would have been just all green. So, again, I'm not going to ramble on here. So, that's what I did anyway. So, again, I added, some MRE boxes there in the back with some water. And I got this legend set right here. Real cool set. Again, this is Leopard C2, but this is for the Maxis, but it doesn't matter. And it comes with, some MREs. You got some water bottles and boxes, and you got some binoculars and stuff. So a real cool set. And I just took what I wanted out of this and just added it to my tank. And again, you don't have to wait for a diorama scene to do that if you don't want to, right? But I waited because, again, I wasn't too sure where I was going to go with this build. And then from Duplicata, you know, he makes maps and all the rest of it, like I showed you. And I cut out a map of Afghanistan, that one of the maps he makes, folded it up, and threw it into his hand. And there we go. I'm going to just turn off this light here. Maybe you might be able to see it better. Again, I mean, that's not permanently in there, nor is the water bottle and binoculars. You know, you can, I just threw it down on the tank there. So you can take that away if you don't like it, and take the map out of his hand if you don't like it. But it does add some realism. Let's see if we can get into the figures there. And right down to the microphone on his face there. I don't know if you can see it there. But again, that's just using photo etch parts and such. Now those decals are great. In the last video, I showed you how to use those, and with some heat and stuff, they fold nicely to the figures. It takes a lot of time to do, but man, oh man, you know, they look great, and especially to do work like with CAD-PAT and stuff like that, that'd be hard to paint. So those did a great job. So I'm very happy with the way this diorama is turning out so far. And there's different ways I can go about doing this. Again, I'm going to wait till the next video, but I have this cat badge here from the Lord Strathconas. And, you know, I was thinking of, you know, putting it on there, maybe like this. But then I'm starting to wonder, you know, now I'm singling out one regiment, you know, of many. Should I do that? I don't know. You know, nothing against these guys at all. You know, it's a great regiment. But now I'm kind of leaving out other regiments. So I'm wondering if I should just do a Canadian flag here or something like that, or, you know, whatnot. But I'm also waiting too on some Canadian flags for their shoulders, things like that. So that's where we're at with this build. You know, I don't want to ramble on too long like I always do. But very happy with the way this is turning out. And the next build I'll be doing with Canadian content, because, you know, there's just not enough Canadian content out there. I don't know why. You know, we're engaged in so many things in the world, and just not getting the recognition as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, the next one I'll be doing is the C1 Leopard, and that'll be completely Canadian as well, from the 90s. And you'll be seeing a lot more Canadian content out there, because I just, like, again, we're just not getting the you know, the recognition out there. And if any museum, Canadian museum is out there that's interested in my stuff, hey, contact me. I'll be happy to build some of the stuff for you guys out there. So anyway, please like, share, and subscribe, and I look forward to your comments as always. So thanks so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye.